Hello, I am so glad. I love everything chocolate. I hope you do too. Today I thought I would show you how to make chocolate bowls. They are the perfect thing to serve ice cream. Maybe you do vanilla, a little strawberry topping, but they are perfect for like a shower or to serve for a special dinner. It is really just a fun thing, a fun trick to have up your sleeve. So let me show you what you need first. I have found that white chocolate works better. The brown chocolate can get a white film on it and it's not quite as good to look at. So I just use the almond bark. I actually got this at Walmart and it's just their store brand. And then you will need balloons. Now these are a 7-inch balloon. I usually use the smaller balloons like they use for water balloons, but I couldn't find them. So I just didn't fill them up very full, but I think they'll work fine. And then once I have everything ready to go, I am just taking the chocolate and I just cut off a smaller section. And what I want to do is just get it into smaller pieces. I'm actually going to melt it in the microwave. One thing to remember when you're melting chocolate in the microwave, it doesn't always lose its shape. So you might take it out after your first little time and it looks just the same. Go ahead and try stirring it because they really do hold their shape and you don't want it to trick you. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish chopping this. I've already done several other cubes. I'm just making it so it's a little easier to melt. And then I cut it in half. And then I like to use a bowl that is a little more shallow. It tapers in. You just use less chocolate, but you still have a good working surface. So I'm going to go ahead and get this melted, and then we'll get started. Okay, I have melted the chocolate. I did 60 seconds for the first little time, and then I took it out. I tried stirring it, but it was still pretty hard. I put it in another 15 seconds, took it out. It was still not quite smooth enough, so I did an additional 15 seconds, and that turned out really quite nice. So you can just see it is a nice, smooth texture, not runny. You want to be careful if it's too hot, but I don't want to scare you. If the chocolate is too hot, not a problem, other than the balloons can pop, and I've had that happen a few times. So I like to have it just a little bit cooler, and so we will get started so you can see that consistency of the chocolate. So the next thing I want to do is I want to have like a cookie sheet or tray, and I put wax paper on it to rest as they cool. And I just use the balloon. So you see it's like the size of an orange, but you can vary that size depending on what you're serving in it. You could even put a brownie with a top of ice cream on top. So you could do mint chocolate chip with a chocolate syrup. There are so many different things you can do with this bowl. The thing I like to do, I like to create a little bit of a scalloped edge. So I dip it on one side. I'm just pushing it down into the chocolate. I rotate it and do the complete opposite side. Then I do a quarter turn. So now you can see I've done all 4 sides, and they're just, gives a cute little scalloped edge. Then you'll set it on your wax paper, and it actually will create its own little puddle underneath that becomes the stand that it will rest on, so it will stand upright. So you can see how much fun these chocolate bowls are. They are the perfect little treat that is surprising but so fun to do. Okay, so once the balloons are all set, it only takes about 15 or so minutes for them to harden, but you can tell by touching them. So I just take them off the wax paper carefully. And this one I actually put a little too close to the edge, and then I just pop the balloon. I snip it a little bit by the knot, and then I just peel the balloon off, and you can see this one is just maybe a little thin on the bottom. And so what you can do, sometimes you'll actually get a little hole, and I'll just melt a little more chocolate and just put a little bit on there. That's what I've done. Like on this one here, you can see I've added a little bit of chocolate there. And then once you have done all of that, it really is quite easy. For 1.5 pounds of the almond bark, you'll get about 20 balloons. If some of them break while you're cutting the balloon out, sometimes that happens, you can just remelt that chocolate and use it again. So hopefully that's all the tricks that you will need, and I hope you'll have fun making some new chocolate bowls.